When situations are changing day by day, in some cases hour by hour, when we're being told by our leaders that we're not sure what's going to happen in the next 24 to 48 hours, that causes anxiety. It's normal. It's okay. But it has a tendency to build and grow exponentially because nothing is steady state. It's incredibly important that we learn to ground ourselves. And what that means is actively bringing our anxiety levels down by engaging in behaviors that we would normally use to bring our stress or anxiety down. Maybe it's getting some exercise. Maybe it's taking a walk. Maybe it's prayer or meditation. Maybe it's petting the family pet. Whatever we would normally do to make us feel good, we now have to use almost as a prescription. And what that's going to allow us to do is prevent our anxiety from spiraling to levels that make us challenged in our ability to engage in our day-to-day activities. We may have to bring our anxiety levels back down 3 times a day, or we may have to bring it down every hour, but we have to do it actively. That's critical. We need to establish new routines. It may be having breakfast with your kids instead of getting them off and sending them to the bus. It may be exercising every day, but exercising from home versus going to the gym. It may be setting a work schedule that even though you're home, you're setting hours that are reliable and predictable. Creating new, even if they're artificial routines, is going to help us feel more regulated, and it's going to prevent us from having that feeling of, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. So it's critical that we, even if it's artificial, we establish new routines for ourselves for this temporary period. It's going to reduce anxiety. It's going to make us feel like we have some purpose. And it's going to reduce the amount of indecision and uncertainty that we may have as we're moving forward. It's always important to be age appropriate with your children, explaining to them what's going on in a way that they can understand. But one of the best ways to do that is to ask them their understanding. What do they think is happening? What do they think is going on, and what are their fears? For younger kids, it may be the biggest fear that they have may be that they can't go play with their friends. Other kids may be fearful of getting sick. For older kids, it may be frustration around not being able to visit friends and go on spring break. But having that communication with children, and particularly because the news is changing so frequently, being the filter between them and the media is absolutely critical. Kids need to understand the reality of what's happening without scaring them.